In a peaceful countryside of southern Brazil, as the first light of day peeks through the treetops, the crow of roosters echoes alongside the crackling sound of firewood being lit. There is no rush, no hurried calls, just the familiar rhythm of life. But today, something feels different. Because today is Porco no Rolete, the day the entire village gathers to roast a whole pig on a rotating spit, not just to eat, but to preserve tradition. For the people here, Porco no Rolete is more than just a dish, it's a ritual, a celebration of community, a flavor that binds the past and present together in a festival filled with laughter, wood smoke, and heartfelt connection. To achieve the perfect roasted pig, everything has to begin early, sometimes even months in advance. Locals here don't choose pigs at random. They raise them the traditional way, selecting good breeds, feeding them corn and soybeans, and giving them pure spring water to drink. No growth enhancers. No stimulants. Because they believe that if you want fragrant meat, clear fat, and no unpleasant odor, you have to start from the source. On the morning of the festival, the pig is cleaned entirely by hand. No machines. No industrial process. Everything is done manually, with care and precision. The organs are removed, washed thoroughly, and kept if they'll be used for side dishes. Every step reflects a deep respect, not just for the animal, but for the traditions rooted in this land. The seasoning used to marinate the pig isn't complicated, but it must be just right. It's a blend passed down from generation to generation, each ingredient playing its own role. Not many, but none can be left out. Coarse salt, with large crystals, is sprinkled evenly over the meat so it penetrates deeply without making it overly salty. Minced garlic, a pungent, earthy flavor deeply tied to the local countryside, is rubbed all over the pig's body. Shallots, black pepper, a bit of cilantro, all measured not with scales, but by instinct, because every family has its own secret recipe. In some places, the cook adds pineapple juice or a few drops of fresh lemon to tenderize the meat. Others might drizzle in a bit of white wine to neutralize any odor and enhance the aroma. Each region has its own habit, each household its own method, but all aim for the same goal, a roast pig that is fragrant, flavorful, and unforgettable. Finally, herbs are stuffed into the pig's belly, bay leaves, aromatic grasses, roasted onions. As if giving the pig a warm, seasoned heart, so that when it spins over the fire, the aroma flows from the inside out, infusing every layer of meat, every glistening strand of fat, and every joyful crackle from the village roasting pit. Once fully marinated and stuffed with herbs, the pig is placed onto a manually rotated spit. Its four legs are tightly secured with wire or stainless steel, and both head and tail are carefully fixed in place to ensure perfect balance throughout the entire roasting process. From here, a long journey begins, slowly rotating over glowing charcoal for 6 to 8 hours. No high flames, no scorching. Only steady, smoldering heat surrounding the pig like a 5-element furnace, where time and patience are the two most essential ingredients. The roaster stands by the spit for hours without taking their eyes off it. They stay beside the fire, constantly basting the skin with the pig's own rendered fat to keep the meat moist. Now and then, they brush on a layer of spicy chili sauce or a honey-infused seasoning mix, giving the skin a rich, golden brown shine, crisp, aromatic, and slightly sweet. But the work doesn't stop there. The most critical part is adjusting the rotation speed slow enough for the heat to penetrate deeply, but precise enough that no part of the pig is ever left out of the fire's reach. As one seasoned roaster once said, there's no recipe for roasting a whole pig, only instinct. You have to listen, smell, observe, like caring for a child of fire, temperamental, but utterly lovable. As the pig continues to turn slowly on the spit, its aroma carried far by the breeze, the village begins to gather. Traditional music gradually fills the air, the gentle strum of guitars blending with the lively rhythm of samba drums, mingling with cheerful singing and the pure laughter of children running circles around the fire pit. A festive spirit spreads through the space. The elders sit and share stories of festivals long past. The young laugh and chat, live streaming every moment. And visitors, those coming for the first time, can only stand in awe, mesmerized by a scene so heartwarming, so deeply rooted in the flavor of home. Long tables are neatly arranged, stretching along the pathway as if waiting to welcome everyone. Here, no one asks where you're from or how much money you have, because only one rule has been upheld through generations: when the meat is ready, everyone gets a share. When the meat is perfectly cooked, the skin taut and golden brown like honey, it's time to carve. The sound of the knife cracking through the crispy skin rings out, a sharp crack, like festive firecrackers bursting in the hearts of those watching. Inside, the meat is tender and pink, juices glistening, releasing an aroma so enticing that all the senses seem to awaken at once: sight, smell, sound, and even feeling. Each plate is prepared simply, but completely: a slice of sweet, tender roasted pork with a piece of crackling skin that shatters at first bite. Served with farofa, toasted cassava flour with butter and onions, rich and nutty, and a spoon of vinaigrette, a tangy, spicy mix of onions, tomatoes, chilies, and fresh lime juice. Everything is laid out on long wooden tables, and each person raises a glass of cold beer or refreshing sugarcane juice. No one rushes. No one eats in silence with their head down. Everyone takes a bite, closes their eyes, as if trying to lock the flavor deep in their memory. And then they smile, a simple, genuine smile that says they're in the right place, at the right time, surrounded by people who truly understand what happiness tastes like. Porco no Rolete is not just a dish, it's how the people of Brazil retell old stories, through meat, fire, and the warmth of community. Here, there are no Michelin chefs, no fancy restaurants, and no expensive menus. It all begins with a handmade spit, a carefully chosen fresh pig, a quiet night of preparation, and people willing to sit together, without caring who's who. Because sometimes, the best food doesn't come from elaborate ingredients, but from the moment you get to share it with the people beside you. If you ever visit Brazil, don't just chase the dazzling lights and colors of Carnival. Take a turn into a small village where the morning still holds a trace of mist, charcoal smoke rises from open fires, folk music drifts softly through the air, and a pig turns slowly on a steel spit. That is the truest Brazil, unpretentious, unpolished, but rich with the scent of roasting pork, burning bright in memory, and warm with human connection.